That should sound familiar to you guys by now, right? All right, well, welcome to Character GPS graduation here for the fall 2022. My name's Jeff Kane, my wife, Miss Debbie. We have been the teachers on this journey with your amazing students, learning these principles of success. So we're going to kind of walk through what they learned, this journey that we've been on this fall semester. And as I mentioned, parents that were coming in, we're an award-winning program from the state of Florida, and we now receive grants that allow us to provide our program free to the parents and the school here. Ray Robinson was the first to discover us way back 8 years ago, right? So we have a lot of sponsors here to help us so that we can continue to deliver this program to you. So our mission is that we're on fire, right? We are passionate. I think the kids will tell you that. Every time you come, you know that Mr. Kane, Ms. Kane, we care about you. We're passionate about helping you to get to your great future and giving you the tools so you're set up for success. So it doesn't matter whether it's one child or 20 kids or 40 kids, we care about every single one of you, and each of you has an amazing plan for your lives. So we started here at Stewart Middle 8 years ago, and we did a middle school LEAP program, actually. We're trying to help kids get back on grade level to be successful. And you can see, here's Dr. Wilson, and Ray, you are in here somewhere. I gotta find where your head is. There's our keynote speaker, R.V. Brown. So we celebrated our 10th year anniversary of Character GPS a year ago, and so Ray and Dr. Wilson were here with us. Yeah. So we have been on this journey together here, and Dr. Wilson, hopefully she's coming. Okay. So our partnership with Stewart has been a very special one, as I said, for 8 years, and it's continuing. So we have something for her. So here's a video just to kind of quickly explain kind of what our program's all about.
Our young adults are surrounded by negative influences from the media and problems like bullying, disrespect, and lying. Character GPS can help our communities get back on track. Students are engaged in 8 weeks of interactive multimedia workshops that focus on real-life applications of 16 character values. Lessons include practical exercises, action plans, and assessments to help integrate these values into thoughts and actions. Let's all work together to steer our children and communities toward a better way.
So it's truly a team effort. But although we want our kids obviously to be compliant, cooperative, but we want them to have an internal compass, that they know the right thing to do. So even when they got people around them doing the wrong thing, our students here have been trained to do the right thing, head in the right direction, and other kids will start following them. So we're very excited about the leadership that they have learned throughout the semester. So we are targeted to overcome these 10 behavior areas: bullying, cheating, stealing, fights and violence, apathy learning, disrespect of authority and each other, addictions of all kinds, right? Lying, and low self-esteem. And that's really where it's all about, is building each other's confidence, right? When you're confident, then you feel capable that you can do the things to be successful in your life. Yes. So our kids actually created an ad campaign against these different areas. We had a lot of fun as part of our synergy team building. So we always start out every adventure with this fact. Here's today, right? Guys, can you change your past? No. What can you change? The future, right? And we know that there's a great future for all of you, every single one of you, but you got to get there, right? So what's the shortest distance from today to your amazing future? A straight line, right? Wouldn't it be great, parents, if our kids were just focused on their future, straight line, and you're just cheering them on, right? But as always, we all can get what? Distracted, right? So we had 7 toolkits to overcome the different kinds of distractions that you'll face in your life. Not only here in middle school, but in high school and in life. So the goal is for us to get back on track and get to the amazing future. So one of the things that we have to remember is some things happen in life, right? But we don't use the rear view mirror very much because it's small, right? We look back just to learn from the past, but what are we really focused on is the future. So that's why we have a big windshield, right? So we learn from the past, but we don't get stuck in the past. We're always looking forward. And that helps you then to be a leader, to be able to move ahead. So one of our themes is about being a weather vane versus a compass. Now, what direction does a weather vane, guys, point in? What do you think, Abraham?
The direction of the wind.
Right, wherever the wind's blowing. It's kind of like our emotions. So have you ever heard your kids say, I don't feel like doing my homework, or I don't feel like doing my chores, or going to bed on time, or maybe even like going to school, but that doesn't happen, right? But parents, have you ever woken up in the morning and you didn't feel like going to work, right? But what'd you do? You went to work, right? You do what we say is the compass. You do the right thing even if you don't feel like it. But if our kids are like weather vanes, if they make their decisions based on their emotions, they're going to make mistakes. So we've been working on, right, making the right decisions based on principles of success, not just how we feel. Because feelings come and go. Now, one of the problems with being a weather vane, a lot of our kids these days, they follow social media, they try to follow what other people are doing. And if you guys heard someone say, well, everyone else is doing it, does that make it right? No, right? Just because everyone else is doing it, they could all be making mistakes. But you are trained as the leader to do the right thing and people will start following you. That's following principles of success. So, unfortunately though, people that decide to be weather vanes, they live a sad life, right? Because who are they focused on? Themselves, right? My emotions, my feelings, all about me, right? So, you always get what you want when you want it? No. So we have adversity, right? That's the way it is, right? But people that are weather vanes, they get all disappointed when they don't get what they want, right? Like you ever seen the little kid in Walmart and mom and dad says, no, you can't have that, and the kid throws a fit, right? Okay, that's weather vane, right? That's immaturity. But instead, we want to live a life where we're pursuing excellence. We're pursuing doing the right things no matter what. That's the GPS approach. So we're seeking guidance, right? We're trying then to do the right thing. And when we make good decisions, it's not just a matter of luck, right? It's not a shake of the dice. Your decisions will determine your future. If you make bad decisions, hanging with the wrong kids, doing the wrong things, you're going to have bad luck, right? But you guys are trained to pick the right friends, you're doing the right things, you're developing your talents towards your future, you're going to have a lot of great luck in your life, right? You created that luck, that opportunity. So in our program, we start off right away with getting clear on this journey of where we're going. So we asked all the kids, said, where was north, right? And they're all pointing different directions. So then I said, who's right? And some of the kids said, well, I am. That was their best guess. So then I asked them, would you bet your life on it? And I didn't have any takers on that. No one was willing to bet their life that they had exactly the right direction. So what we then did is we gave them the tool, the compass, right? And when we put the compass in people's hands, like Lucian, right? Lucian pointed exactly where north was, and now we didn't have to guess. So we've been helping our students realize they don't need to guess at life. They need to find the principle of success and then follow it. And then they're going to not have to worry about whether they're heading in the right direction. So one of the things is we helped our kids learn how their brains work. Brains are amazing, right? A miracle. But the primitive part of our brain, our animal instincts, fight or flight, right? That's the weather vane. That's our emotions. But we, as human beings, have a frontal lobe, right? The frontal lobe is where we reason and think through. But our frontal lobe doesn't fully develop until what age? Does anyone remember about? 21 to 25, right? So you ask the kids, all right, anyone 21, 25, we had a few takers, right? But really, they all knew they still have a frontal lobe that's developing. So you need to be coachable. You need to listen to someone who is 21 or 25. Now, without shouting out your parents' age, point to someone who's at least 25 years old, and those are the people that are your coaches. They have a fully developed frontal lobe. They have life experience, and they care about you, so they want you to be successful. But sometimes, do we ever hear our parents say, oh, when I was your age, and they're ready to give you all this information, but you roll your eyes because you think it's outdated, right? But see, actually, technology is what gets outdated. Wisdom is eternal. Wisdom worked yesterday, it works today, and it works tomorrow. So if you're willing to be a wisdom seeker, to be coachable, you're going to put yourself on the path to success in life. Make sense, guys? So this is what we were building on. The self-control comes from learning the right things to do. So our 7 toolkits are not just 7 categories of skills and leadership. They're actually skill building, one leading to the next. And the highest level is teamwork. And we just finished with teamwork. We saw that teamwork is productive, right? Doing the math, 1 + 1 is greater than 2, right? That you actually, working together, accomplish more than you would individually. So in our program, we then actually want to get from today to our great future. But if you imagine, like the river of life, got a strong current in our culture, trying to sweep our kids away, right? If they tried to swim across, the current would what? Wash you away. But if you had stepping stones to get across to your great future, then you won't have that problem. So our toolkit is actually designed as stepping stones. Proactive responsibility, CD. What does TD stand for, guys? Talents discovered. All right, we get a touchdown. V stands for vision. 3T, managing your time, temptation, and treasure. MR, meaningful relationships. And TLC, team love collaboration. So if we're able to build these skills, we can then stay focused on getting to our great future. So that's what we've been working on all semester long. So this is what we've done with Stewart for 8 years. And I'd like to ask Dr. Wilson to come on up, because she has been our partner here. Well, we thank you for the partnership, because the teachers, the leadership here at Stewart is dedicated to our kids being successful. And so we have partnered with them with our program because we know that this is a great place to invest in kids for the future.
But should be given respect. This is the real, him and his wife.
Yeah.
They've been the real blessing. So
Well, thank you very much.
Serving us.
Thanks for our partnership. All right, thank you so much, Brent. All right, so then, moving along here now, we have then what we call the roadmap. And this is on the back of your kids' journey guides. They'll be taking their journey guides down with them, because they've been filling in all these principles of success all semester long, and now they have a full book. So hopefully this is going to go on a bookshelf where you can pull it off anytime, right, to look back at, or maybe teach to a brother or sister or a friend, right? Because as you keep working on these skills, you'll be building towards your great future. So we are also an informed care compliant program. We help kids heal from challenges they've had in their life. Life can be tough sometimes, right? But sometimes kids, because of what they've gone through, they feel like a victim. But instead, we've taught our students here to be what? Victors, right? You are a victor. You overcome whatever the challenges are now and in the future. No one here is a victim. Now, some people say, well, I can't be responsible, right? I know sometimes kids use that excuse. I can't be responsible. Well, guess what? We know that you can make good choices, and your parents believe in you, and they're coaching along the way, along with Miss Debbie and I. So some kids say, hey, something happened to me and I'm broken, right? But we say, no, you're capable. Whatever you've had in life, you can grow from that learning experience and share it even with others. Someone said, hey, I'm not as smart, you're comparing to other people, but we know that you can learn how to learn. And we'll be sharing with that in a minute as well. Some kids, they've had some bad things happen in life and they feel worthless. Maybe a bully's been picking on them, right? But we know you guys are not worthless. How much you worth? Priceless. You're priceless, right? You're unique and can't be replaced. You have a unique calling, a unique purpose in your life. And no one can change that, right? You make a mistake, you learn from it, and you move on, right? Now, some people think, oh, I'm not talented, but they all took a mini Myers-Briggs survey. They found everyone here has natural talents. And when you learn what your natural talents are, you can then build on those to build other talents going forward. Then, sometimes, it's hard being a teenager, you're trying to fit in. But our kids realize it's not trying to fit in, right? You're trying to be a leader, so you go forward. You're not trying to fit in, you're doing the right thing, and people will start following you. That's what leadership is all about. Now you might say, hey, I feel a little alone. Life can be sometimes lonely. But what do? You become part of a family. Your family at home, your family here at Stewart, right? You join in teams, you build something that you are a part of that's constructive, right? So that you can accomplish things in life. Now, sometimes people try to figure it all on their own. That's a tough way to live, right?
Yes, Mia
all
Banks,
on your own.
please report to the main office. Just
We
Mia
know
Banks,
that you can
please
be
report to
coachable.
the main office. You're going home.
And we know we have principals, we have teachers. Ray Robinson was a success coach here. You have coaches in your life, including your parents. If you'll be willing to listen to them, right? You can then learn to be successful. So we actually have a tool called a CQ. Now we've all heard of an IQ test, right? Your intelligence quotient, and an EQ, emotional quotient, how do you manage your emotions. But we have what's called a CQ, your character quotient. So using these 7 toolkits, your kids can actually measure their maturity in these 7 areas. So we asked the kids to circle where they thought they were at the beginning of this program back in August, and now put a square. How far have you learned and grown and developed in these areas, right? Now, we didn't expect everyone to be 4s, right? Because it's a lifelong journey. But all of our kids marked that they had had some significant growth and learning, and they're going to keep on going. So we put your CQs back with your books, guys. So periodically, you can come back and measure, grade your own paper, say, hey, I'm making progress in some of these areas. So we're very proud of our graduates here. Now, we're also an anti-bullying program, as I mentioned. So every single one of our toolkits teaches how to overcome bullying, because bullying damages people, right? So instead of allowing people to be damaged, we want to build people up. That's what leaders do, right? We're encouragers, not discouragers. So in Character GPS, we actually have an anti-bullying mentor leadership club. As your kids graduate from GPS, we'll invite them in the future to be a mentor for other kids going through the program. Like we have summer camps here, and you can come and be a summer camp mentor, and then you can, if you want, then add it onto your leadership development, and you can come up with strategies how we can all work together to overcome bullying. Because parents, when you grew up, there's bullies, right? But there's also bullies in the adult world. So we have to learn how to handle bullies and be constructive in our relationships. So Malik, one of our Stewart graduates, was a Junior Mentor Award in 2019, and then this summer, he was a Summer Camp Mentor Award. So Malik is doing great. He's over at, what high school?
He's in Middleton.
Middleton, right. He's in Middleton, continuing to grow his leadership. So really quick then, looking at now the 7 toolkits. The first toolkit, PR, stands for what again, guys? Responsibility, right? So again, we are trying to avoid emotionally responding by reacting. Instead, we slow down, right? We create the freedom to make good choices. And when we build that discipline, that habit, how many days does it take to build a habit? 30 days. We take control of our life, right? We don't let other people, bother us or annoy us or whatever. We decide how to handle situations in our life. So we did stab the potato as one kind of tool to learn about proactivity. So Jasmine was helping us with a volunteer on that one. She did great. Now we have, that was your heart, I'm sorry. So we have 16 core values in our program. So when we learn these values and then we practice them, it changes our life. So we use the metaphor of an iceberg, because there's the tip of the iceberg which we see, but the mass of the iceberg is what's below the surface. That's what keeps it afloat. So we took each of our values, like truth, and said, what do I have to do to build truth in my life? So being honest, integrity, balance, discernment, keeping promises. And then for how many days we practice it, guys? 30 days. It now comes to the surface. And then people see us as trustworthy, right? They see us as credible, people that we would want to have on our team. Now, I was the vice president of human resources at Raymond James. I had 10,000 employees. So I hired some talented people, but I hired people that we could trust, right? Because we needed to trust them not only working in our company, but our customers needed to trust them, right? So when you build the reputation of trust, like Honest Abe, right, people can count on you. So we don't try to lie our ways out of situations. We build the credibility to get it done. So we realize we're not victims, right? We are victors in everything that we do. So we had some fun with some exercises. Jen New. Move on, Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow in his year there at Denver had 9 come from behind victories because he never gave up. And because he didn't give up, his team didn't give up, right? So we're teaching our kids that in your families, if there's something not going right, you don't give up, right? If you're on a sports team, you don't give up. You're the leader, right? People will follow your lead. And eventually, you have a job, and maybe there's a problem. You don't give up on it, right? You solve that problem, and people will want you on their teams. So we learned how to learn. Learning is not a mystery, it's a 3-step process. So as we learned about how our brains learn, we learned that just like catching a football, you have to do what, guys? You have to receive it, then you have to store it, tuck it in, and then you can use it, right? So we remember these 3 steps by a simple way of catching the football, right? So I've got Leo on the end there, and he's going to step up and go for a pass for me here, right, Leo? All right, so I'm going to throw it to him. Now what did he do first? He prepared, right? He prepared to receive it. Now he's going to catch it. Here it comes, right? Tuck it in, run for a touchdown. There he goes, right? Ray Robinson couldn't catch him if he's running fast, right? So the opportunity is our kids build confidence because they learn the skill of how to learn. Once you know how to learn, you can learn anything you want. You can be a rocket scientist, a brain surgeon, right? But you have to know how to learn. So our kids now know how to learn, and they can even teach it to others. But having a can-do attitude is very important. Now, it sounds a little corny, but I was raised in a family of 7 kids, so my parents didn't have a lot of time to kind of mess around. So if you said you couldn't do something in our family, you know what my parents said? Do you remember? Right, your name's Kane, you can't do it. End of discussion. We didn't make excuses in our family. And that's what our leaders here. We don't make excuses. We find a way to solve problems because you can do it. And so when you believe in that, when you believe in yourself, you're going to solve problems and move on in life. And we've got Dr. Wilson here who's got the can-do attitude as well, right? So that's why we love partnering with her. So we won an award from the Department of Juvenile Justice for the state of Florida. During the pandemic, they shut down a lot of classes. But we said, hey, our kids need coaching, right? We can't give up on them. We did everything safe, but we never closed down any of your classes. And we got this award out of the blue just because we kept doing what we said we were going to do to help our kids, right? So kids, sometimes when you do the right thing, you're going to find out that people recognize what you're doing, right? And then you'll get that attaboy to say, keep going. So our third toolkit is talents discovered. So we tell the story of a girl who was 4 years old, learned to play the accordion and piano in her dad's music store in Buffalo, New York. By the age 13, she was teaching adults how to play the piano, and then she became a concert pianist. Now, I don't know about you, but my fingers don't even move that fast, right? Where's the music coming from? She's memorized this, right? She's not just reading music. Who is this amazing pianist? That's my wife, Miss Debbie, right? So we teach your kids, whatever your talent is, put your best into it, right? Seek excellence, and you're going to be able to make a difference in this world. So Miss Debbie actually wrote a book on piano technique called Keys. And actually, we have some of those over there if you want to pick it out as one of your prizes, right? It kind of tells her life story growing up in Buffalo as well. So our kids learned that they all have a natural toolkit, one of these 16, Myers-Briggs, and they realized that, hey, when we have talents, we are priceless, right? And that goes for both of our first and second period classes, right? So we have a lot of fun in the process, right? But the key message that we were sending is, every single one of you, and I hope you get this message, you are necessary. you are needed, and if you choose to, you can make a difference in this world. If you're willing to develop your talents and try to do something to help others, you're going to make a difference. So, we encourage our kids to, hey, can you change the world, right? And one of our favorite groups, Newsboys,
That's how you change the world.
overlooking the Grand Canyon.
That's how you change the world. All my life I had big dreams to do big things and make a change. All the while I just pass by the simple needs right here next to me.
So the key is, the way we change the world is one day at a time, right? Helping out your folks, offering to help cook dinner, right? Do the dishes. Do something to help out. Every day you can start to change the world. We call it throwing a positive pebble, right? You throw a pebble into the water, what comes out? Ripples. You can make positive ripples, or you can create negative ripples, right? Like conflict. So our kids are trained now that you guys are positive ripples. At home, school, wherever you are, you're going to make a difference. So to have a vision, to have dreams, to follow them, you have to answer 3 questions. What do I need to have? What do I need to do? And who do I need to be? But the order you answer these is so important. So some people, like, see an advertising on TV, right? What do they want you to focus on? Have, right? You got to have all this stuff. You do things to get it, and supposedly you're going to be what? Happy, right? Instead, you probably are more like in debt, right? You spend all your money, right? So instead, we've taught our kids to treat this like a target. When you shoot at your goals, you shoot at, who do I want to be? Then I'll prioritize the things I need to do and say no to the distractions that I don't need to do. And then you're going to have the things in life that money can't buy. And you'll be hearing from the kids some of their dreams and what they're pursuing as they get focused on their future. So who you have is the formula for success. And so again, we look for inspiration, right? What are our dreams?
I have a
We
dream.
love Martin Luther King.
One day, this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I am a
See, all the people, your dream can not only inspire you, but it can inspire a lot of other people too. So on our 10th anniversary mug, we put the famous quote from Dr. Martin Luther King, that I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but on the content of their character, right? So that's why character is so important. So Miss Debbie and I, we're colorblind. We love everybody. The key is that you are willing to work towards your dreams, right? Everyone has an opportunity. So we told the kids that you got to have targets to shoot at. And we had a little fun, because sometimes you can get blindsided, right? Sometimes you get turned around. So Miss Debbie kind of spun me all around trying to hit my target. But I had a better chance of hitting my target, blindfolded and turned around, than someone who doesn't have a target at all, right? Because you can't hit a target you what? Don't have. So our kids realize that goal setting is the key to success. Don't be afraid to set goals. Set goals, work towards those goals, achieve those goals, then set the next goal, right? That's how you build towards success. And our keynote speaker will be talking about having lots of goals that he worked towards towards the Olympics. So we learned a SMART goal setting tool, that if we want to have a dream, you don't just dream it, you got to put a plan together, right? So we learned to make that plan specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. And so it's not just someday I hope to be a surgeon, right? Or a doctor, whatever you want to be, right? You have a plan to reach it. And we'll be sharing some of those with you here in the future. So Shiloh had a SMART goal plan. She is going to get her high school diploma, which we all know that's so important. Go to college for law enforcement, pass her certification exam. She knows what she needs to do. She's focused, right? So our 3T then is now managing your time, temptation, and treasure, right? So time management, I think for us as adults, it's a challenge, a lifelong journey, right? So we help the kids to learn now how to build good time management habits. So instead of letting distractions and escapism steal our time, instead we learn that we need to invest in preparation, right? You prepare for the exam, you ace the exam. You prepare for the game, you win the game, right? Preparation is what we do to invest. So don't throw away your time. We all want a little entertainment. But the focus should be on investing your time now so that you can achieve the things in your life that you want to do. So we had the kids analyze their time, and sure enough we found that there was a lot of things that we kind of escaped from. You know, computer games can be fun, but that shouldn't be the purpose of your life, right? So we move on then to relationships, meaningful relationships. Because when we say Mr., what are we showing, guys? Respect, right? We respect our parents, right? We respect our friends, we respect ourselves, right? So if we follow the golden rule, treat others the way you want to be treated, you're going to be in great shape. So Reefer had it right. Respect everyone's special personality, ethnicity, culture, and talent. Now your parents are asking for this too, right? There's a little respect, right? All right. So when we have respect, there's an abundance of respect for everybody. So we learned that as we worked in teams that our relationships make a big difference in how well we work together. So when we came to the highest level, TLC, Teams Love Collaboration, we learned it's a lot easier to work together now with all those tools in place. We can combine our talents and accomplish many great things. So we had some puzzles for the kids to solve, and they did a lot better when they worked together than they tried to do it on their own. So together, everyone achieves more, right? So 2 are better than 1, as long as the relationship's good, right? If you're not getting along, then 1 plus 1 is like negative, right? You're having problems. So we now know the tools for success. They learned all this semester. So they know that the key is to build towards teamwork. Then nothing in their life is impossible. So we take, again, the tools for success. Character, principles, values, good habits, having faith in yourself and others, putting your energy, and when you combine those, what do you get? You get synergy, right? That's when you know that you're accomplishing things, when you have the energy of working together and enjoying it. So, like if you decorated your Christmas tree together, there was synergy, right? If you solve problems at work together, you have synergy. So now, pull this all together, now we just have to learn how to practice this in life. So we're going to introduce a leader, an educator, born in Fort Meade, Florida, moved to Lakeland, played football and track. Lakeland Senior High in 1970, went to Florida A&M, qualified at age 20 for the U.S. Olympic team, competed in the 1972 Olympics, played football for Miami Dolphins and Birmingham Americans, coached men and women sprinters. Got a BS in health and physical education, right? Got his education degree. Married beautiful like Donna, smartest thing they ever did, right? Track coach, inducted into the FAMU Hall of Fame. Got a master's in education. Worked with our school system here. And today, our character GPS graduation keynote speaker, Ray Robinson. How about a hand for Ray? We're so glad to have you, Ray.
Glad to be here. Hey, how y'all doing? Good. I'm glad to be here. I look forward to this every year. I retired from here in 2018, and I can say with true honesty, this is one of the best places I've worked. Besides coaching at Florida A&M University and the University of South Florida, this was it. All right, and I really loved it here at Dr. Wilson. When I came in as the student success coach, she gave me the opportunity to work with kids, and she just backed me in the things we did here. As a matter of fact, how we got character GPS here, I was talking to some of my colleagues, and they were telling me about this fair that the Hillsborough County School System was sponsoring to bring in programs to work consistently with your school, with your schools. So I asked Dr. Wilson, it was an all-day thing, right? And one of the things that I was responsible for here, not only with the success program, but I was always the person, if the kid was having a bad day, I would be the one to go and get them out of the classroom. And I was the only one here doing that. So for her to let me leave for a whole day to go to this fair was showed me that she had confidence in my judgment. While at the fair, they had different programs from all around the country coming in trying to establish their program here in Hillsborough County. And I spent all day and I talked to a lot of people. And I met Character GPS. And what we were trying to do here, not only in Hillsborough County, but here at Stewart, they made a great presentation. And I felt real comfortable with the program. I came back to Stewart, and I talked to Dr. Wilson about it. We came in for an interview. She talked with Character GPS, talked with Jeff. I think they were
there at that time, Matt.
Matt,
Okay.
Matt, yeah, Matt, right. And so Matt came in, I think he was here for 1 week, I think. And he said, well, look, we have somebody else that will probably be a good fit here. And that's when I met Jeff. And like he said, he's been here for what?
8 years.
8 years. And we're talking about success. Jeff said that I was going to talk to you about, I should say Mr. Kane. Student success coach. We have a lot of things that we do with students here to promote success. And I had a program that called the Success System That Never Fails. But once Character GPS came in here, I didn't have to do that program. I assist Jeff and his wife, Debbie, with the programs when I had the opportunity to do so. So I felt real comfortable with what they were saying to our students and how our students react once they come through the program, and how they became somewhat leaders, not only in their classroom, but in their community. As a matter of fact, I was, my wife, and this is crazy, my wife and I, we were doing lunch yesterday, and she's retired also, so we get the opportunity to eat lunch together. And one of the workers at the restaurant came to me, he said, I know you from somewhere. And I was, we were trying to put something together. I said, well, I worked at Stewart Middle School. And the first thing he said was Character G. I said, your name? I said, yeah, Mr. Robinson. I said, yeah, you was working with those people there that came in and talked about this. I said, yes, right. And he's the manager at the restaurant. And that was long ago.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the manager, he got to be maybe about 21, 22 years old. And he's the manager at the restaurant. So it just makes it so crazy. I said, well, I'm going to Stewart and speak at Character GPS graduation. Who would have thought? But anyway, I normally introduce myself and tell everybody what I do. But Jeff, we've been together so long, he just messed all that up. But I can tell you this, everybody asks me when I speak, and I speak at a lot of places. And one of the things they ask me once I get through with my speech, and I'm not gonna give you that speech because it lasts 30 minutes. I'm not gonna go through all that. But they asked me, in a question and answer period, they asked me, how do you become successful in track and field? And some of the principles that are taught here at Character GPS is some of the principles I used as I grew up to become an Olympian. I started running track my senior year in high school. I ran track 1 year in high school. I was blessed. I had a track and field coach at Lakeland Senior High, Go Dreadnought, state champion football. Okay. he knew track and field. I had no idea. The only thing I knew about track and field was a guy by the name of Bob Hayes, who ran in the 1964 Olympics. He won the gold medal in the 100 meters and a gold medal in the 4x100 meter relay. And he played for the Dallas Cowboys. And he's in the Football Hall of Fame. That's all I knew about track and field, all right? I really didn't know how long 100 meters, you know, I know a track, but how far is 100 meters on a track? I didn't know any of that. Just to let you know just how things work. This guy, Coach Terry Long, he's retired now. He actually taught me how to run track. I had that natural ability to run fast, but you know, if everybody have that same ability, the only one that's going to win is the one who knows how to use it. And he taught me how to use that ability. Within a 3-month time period, I was the fastest high school sprinter in the country. Wow. 3 months. Now, one of the things that he taught me while I was practicing, he asked me what I wanted to be, and I said, well, I wanted to be like Bob Hayes. I wanted to be an Olympian, world record holder, and I wanted to play pro football. He said, all right, these are the things you got to do. One, he said, you got to be focused. If you're going to be that, you got to practice that. You got to believe in yourself. You got to believe you can do it. Because if I ask you, are you smart?
Yes.
Are you? Right. If you say, well, I don't know, well, that goes to tell me you don't have confidence in yourself. You could be smart. You might be smarter than anybody in this school. But if you don't believe that, you won't show it and it won't happen. So the first thing he asked me to do is visualize me becoming an Olympian. Now remember, this was my first year running track, and I was confused because I didn't know what to do on that track, right? But I had faith in myself. Yeah, right. I did. I went off just like that. I have faith in yourself. All the time. So once we got on the track and we started practice, no problem. That kind of helped me out a little bit. We started practice, and every day on that track, I believed that I could become an Olympian. Regardless of how tough the practice was, even if I got tired, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. He said, what you want to be when you get, I want to be an Olympian. Okay, all right, come back to practice the next day and go through the same horrible treatment. All right, and I got to love it. All right? Now, have faith in yourself. Number 2, if you don't know what to do with your dream, find somebody that does that. Whatever your dream is, you need to find someone or even read about someone who has success with that same dream. I was lucky I had a citizen in Lakeland that ran with Bob Hayes in college. He was the second fastest guy on the track team. He actually went to the Olympic trials with Bob Hayes, but he didn't make the Olympic team. All right? All right, everything is coming together. I talked to his name is Dr. Robert Harris. All right? I said, Dr. Harris, he ran with Bob Hayes, and my coach brought him out to the track. And he was telling me all these stories about Bob Hayes, what kind of guy he was in college, and how he practiced, and what he was talking about and everything. So I and he actually came out every now and then. He would actually come out on the track, doing track practice to help us with our track practice. So it was just great. And that's one of the things you got to do. Find somebody that do what you want to be. Have confidence in yourself. And the most important thing, do not give up. You're going to have a lot of distractions. You're going to have people tell you, oh, you can't do that. You're going to have some of your best friends tell you, you can't do it. If you want to do it, stay with it. Don't give up.
All right, Ray Roberts. Thank you. he's been in the Olympics, all sorts of things, but we give him the official GPS award here, so.
And I love it, thank you.
Yeah, Ray,
I got
always
a lot
look up
of
to
these.
you. So guys, you heard, you're talented. We know you all have talents, right? But you gotta be coachable, and you gotta be willing to work at it and not give up, right? With the can-do attitude. So now we're gonna come to the highlight of our program here, and that is our graduates. So this isn't the end, this is just the beginning, the first day of the rest of your life. So just like we practiced here at GBS Theater in class, you're going to be now on the stage of life, ready to pursue your dreams. So what we're going to do is, we have kids that were working to get reward chips. They got it by participating in class, doing their teaching sheets, doing well on their tests, right? All those things added and accumulated to their bonus chips. And our top bonus chip winner is Anais. Come on down. So we're going to use her to model how we're going to kind of review what the kids have learned about themselves. So she's bringing up her script. I'm going to ask her these questions. So what are some words that describe you? Some positive words.
Kind, smart, and loyal.
There you go. That's very true about her. Now, what was your Myers-Briggs toolkit that you learned that you have natural talents? Right up here.
INTJ.
A mastermind. So she sees the big picture, right? So what are the strengths of being a mastermind?
Realistic and
And what's the weakness?
critical.
Right. You have to kind of bite your tongue, not always be ready to criticize, because she understands what people are doing right or wrong. But remember, we're encouragers, not discouragers. So what was your dream? What do you want to be someday?
A biomedical engineer.
Okay, so in the biomedical field, now being specific, you want to be a biomedical engineer, right?
Yes.
So the measure, how do you know when you've made it as a biomedical engineer? You have to get what? You gotta get a license, right? They don't let you play around with all that biology until you know what you're doing, right? So what are the steps from today to get to this amazing biological engineer?
Volunteer in a hospital. Graduate high school with a 4.0 GPA.
Good.
College bachelor's science degree in biomedical engineering
Mm-hmm.
and certificates of biomedical engineering.
And then you might do an internship in a company, right? Learn how to do that. So relevant. Why is it that you love this? Why is this your passion?
Because I like helping people.
You love helping people. That is awesome. So she's going to find the cure to cancer and everything else, right? So how many years is it going to take from today to become this amazing biomedical engineer?
10 years.
A 10-year plan. Can we give her a hand? What are some principles now of success that you learned in GPS are going to help you pursue this dream?
See, can do, and be supervision.
There we go. Have vision with a can-do attitude. I love it. So what is one bad habit now that you are going to break so that it doesn't distract you from getting to your dream?
Staying on my phone while doing homework.
There we go. There's a commitment. How about a hand for this? All right. Our second highest chip getter is Jennifer. Jennifer, come on down. Bring your chip with you. There we go. So Jennifer, let's kind of demonstrate the drill here a little bit again. So what are some favorite words that describe you?
I am independent, original, logical, and generate my own possibilities.
I love that. That is great. So now, what was your Myers-Briggs toolkit?
I am a INTJ mastermind.
Well, another mastermind. How about that? So again, your strengths are what?
I am realistic and independent.
And what's the watch out?
I am critical and skeptical.
Right. So you got to kind of hold off on that, right? So what was your dream? What do you want to be someday?
A doctor, possibly a surgeon.
Okay. So as a doctor, being specific, you want to be a surgeon, right? So that's what Mr. Robinson said. Now you got the dream. Don't let anyone discourage you from it. So what's your plan then to get from here to the great future as a surgeon?
Be licensed in Florida.
Mm-hmm. So to get your license, you're going to do what?
Volunteer in hospitals.
Good.
Graduate high school with a 4.0 GPA.
I love that.
Get a college bachelor's degree in USF, biology major.
And then you're going to go to,
Medical school as
Wow.
an intern.
and then be an intern residency, right? So why is this your passion?
But I
helping people. We've got some really great hearts here at Stewart, right? So how many years is this plan?
About 17 years.
17 years. Can we give her a hand? What from GPS going to help you get there?
I learned to discover who I am and discover my meaningful relationships to move my lose-lose relationships to a win-win. Learning to treat others how I want to be treated.
Wonderful. And what's one bad habit that you're going to break?
Watching TV/YouTube before doing my homework.
There you go. All right, give her a hand. That is great. Our next highest tip getter is George. Come on down, George. George's been working hard, right? So George, let's do the same tropes. All right, so what is the word to describe you?
I'm reliable,
Yes.
I'm realistic, and I'm smart.
There you go. He believes in himself, right? So now, what was your Myers-Briggs toolkit?
I was inspector, ISTJ.
An ISTJ. So what is your strength as an inspector?
Consistency.
Right.
That's the one I would list it down.
Right. And then what is the, let me just turn this behind, okay. And then what is a weakness you have to overcome?